Welcome to Conscious Co-Creations, straight talk about the mind, body, business, and spirit. I am really excited today because today I am really happy that we're going to be talking about love, and we're going to be talking about I Choose Love with Shawn Gallaway. And he is a dear friend of mine, and he is in Tennessee. So welcome, Shawn.
Thank you very much, Carly. Good to be
It's
here.
been a long time since we've talked, and I am really excited to be hearing the song I Choose Love. So we're going to be talking lots about love today, aren't we?
Absolutely. That's what it's all about.
Yes, it is. So, I think I would like to open with the song. I think that would be a great opening to actually start with the song I Choose Love. And then we can actually get into lots about love. So why don't we open with the song?
Okay, this is a song called I Choose Love. And for those of you who aren't familiar with my music, this is a song that I wrote a couple days after 9/11 when the towers fell. And to me, that was a big wake-up call for humanity. If we continue to create fear, we're going to get a lot more of those kind of incidences happening. But if we choose love, then we can create a peaceful world. So it starts with each one of us individually, and then we move to the collective choice. And so for me, it was my choice to choose love, and that's where the song came from. And then inviting everyone else to choose love will allow us to create a more beautiful, better, safer world for everyone.
Or I can see tears. I see a choice, love or fear. What do you choose? I can see peace, or I can see war. I can see sunshine, or I can see a storm. What do you choose? No, I choose to love with freedom flies from my heart where the light keeps shining. And I choose to feel the whole world crying for the strength that we can rise above. I choose love. I can see greed, I can see caring, or poverty. So what do you choose? I can see gardens, or I can see bombs. I can see life or death coming on strong. What do you choose? No, I choose to love with freedom flying from my heart where the light keeps shining. And I choose to feel the whole world crying for the strength that we can rise above. I choose love. us healing, darkness dying. I see us dawning as one world united. So what do you choose? Love or fear? Oh, we choose. Now I choose to love with freedom flying from my heart where the light keeps shining. And I choose to feel the whole world crying. And I choose to feel one voice rising. And I choose to feel us all united in the strength that we can rise above. I choose love. 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 Woo! I choose love. I choose love.
I just love that song. That is like one of my most favorite songs. And if you've never seen him singing that in person, it is the most amazing experience ever. So I'll be showing actually some images, and he's actually done some amazing paintings from that. You've got to go visit his website, which is ichooselove.org. And that's actually some of the things we're going to be talking about on this episode, by the way. And the reason why I brought him on this particular channel, which is Conscious Co-Creations, on intentionradio.com, is because we're going to be talking about intentions. And so, actually, we're going to segue into the very first. Shawn has created something called the I Choose Love Commitment, actually commitments. And
It's
we're going to
actually
talk about.
called,
Go ahead.
it's actually called The Choice.
Okay, so we're actually going to, but you did create something, though, that actually is called the I Choose Love Commitments, though, also, did you not?
Yeah, the I Choose Love Commitment. That's true. Yep, and I guess I'm looking at it. We used to call it The Choice, and now we call it the I Choose Love Commitment. Yes.
So that's what I'm looking at. I'm actually looking at the things that you created here. So actually, let's back up. So his actual program, so he actually wrote an album called I Choose Love, and then he actually started creating a book, right? So why don't you take that away?
Well, originally, the songs on the I Choose Love CD, they're basically about my own personal awakening, healing journey. And each one of the songs, it starts with the calling, which, we're all called to the work at some point, whether we have some disease or some circumstance in our life that really grabs our attention, and we are invited, so to speak, to pursue another way of behaving or being that incorporates more loving presence, And so anyway, it starts with the calling, call to the work, making the choice, and then it takes you all the way through the whole, the different phases of that journey, and we can go through that. And then it ends with the source, where you have communion with that divinity of yourself, which is the oneness, which is conscious co-creation, consciousness, whatever you want to call it, God.
So I'm going to stop you. So actually go through that journey, because as you know, this show is called conscious co-creation, and you know my languaging. So one of my shows is, we're on the show that's actually called Conscious, right? One of my shows is Conscious Co-Creation. So actually
Okay.
go through the journey.
All right, so we started with the calling. And the calling, again, is your wake-up call. For me, it was many, many years ago, and it was the ending of a relationship. And I was devastated. Had never experienced grief or depression before in my life. And what came with that loss was, why do I feel this way? And, who are these people in my family, and why am I like the way I am? So it was a place to begin the inner journey, as I would say, with people. Now, after getting on the journey for many years, I had a mentor tell me, Shawn, you've come to a place where I have to ask you a question, and that question is, do you choose to love yourself and heal? And if so, I want to tell you about what you can expect from that. So, of course, I presented with that choice. Most of us choose, yes, I choose to heal. I'm ready to do the work to do that, which is what the I Choose Love song is all about. And so my experience of choosing love created a door that opened, which allowed me to begin to look at the many layers of fear that I had collected throughout my entire life. And perhaps even lifetimes. And I say that with regards to my ancestry, where I came from. And going back in those genetic lines and realizing that, yeah, I'm healing stuff from my ancestors that came forward through my line as well. So the next song after that is called When I Let Go. And basically, I wrote this song when I was in just probably one of the deepest, darkest depressions of my entire life, and it was the ability to surrender, I guess is a good way to put it, and begin to realize my own self-worth, and understanding that with that self-worth I can heal. And so that song is about, what's the words? I can fly like a raven to the corners of the earth.
Isn't that in one of your songs?
Yeah, when I feel my freedom, I will know my worth. So that's what that song is about, which leads us into a song called Threshold. And threshold is that place when we come to a threshold, or many thresholds in our lifetimes. Some people would call them rites of passage, perhaps, where again, a circumstance in your life brings you to a place or a precipice where you have to make another choice. And so for me, it was stepping out onto the path of healing and really understanding that my direction was headed towards what I would call the central sun, the center of the sun, or God, or conscious communion with the divine, whatever you would like to call that. And so the questions that come with that song are, well, who am I? Why am I here? What are my gifts? And how am I using my gifts to serve the whole? And so through this process of healing, I had to begin to ask myself, well, who am I? And again, why am I here? And so I had to discover that. That was part of the process of discovering what my gifts were. So one of the things I didn't say about this series of songs is that I've created a painting that goes to
actually show your t-shirt. Show your t-shirt.
So this is the I Choose Love picture.
Sit still for a second. Oh, I know, sit still. Oh, I love that. Come up closer. I want everyone to see that third eye in the middle of the triangle. So the wings and the heart, and then you got in the triangle the third eye. And I'm going to show a beautiful still picture of that painting. It is so beautiful. I absolutely love that.
Yeah, and it's the earth, and the eye represents, for me, some people have given me grief about it, thinking it's the Illuminati or whatever, but for me it was the eye of love. It's the all-seeing eye that allows us to live in awareness and understand that we have choice in our lives, And so, that sacred heart, when you see through the eyes of the sacred heart, you can bring healing to the earth, and the earth is the bottom of the picture. And of course, the backdrop angel for me is Michael the Archangel. And the angelic realm is very prominent to me, and I'm very kin to it. So so anyway, we asked those questions, my gifts. So what I was getting to was that, I discovered that I could do artwork. I was 33 years old when I realized I had an ability to paint pictures and draw. And it was like such a surprise to me. And it's a big part of what I do now. So anyway, from the threshold, we go, well, who am I? Well, again, my mentor told me, he said, I want you to look into a mirror and look at yourself in the eyes. I want you to say to yourself, I am love. I am love. I am love. And repeat that and meditate with that. And what happened for me was I had an experience of deep sadness and joy at the same time, because I had forgotten who I was. And at the same time, the key word was I was remembering who I was at the same time. So that's been a very strong, staple sort of experience for me to always remember I can go to the mirror and look at myself in the eyes and say, you know what? I remember who I am. I am love. I am love. It helps me. Because this is an arduous journey, and I won't tell anybody that it isn't. The path to consciousness is very arduous, and it has been for me anyway, and full with incredibly beautiful experiences, but dealing with these fears and old behaviors and thought forms and systems and change is painful sometimes. It's like birthing pains, So anyway, we go from there to the light of the flame. And what this song is about, it's what I call my Olympic song. And it's about stepping out onto the past and saying, you know what, I'm going for it. I'm going for it. I'm going to live my life in light. I'm going to live in love, and I'm going to just have a blast with it, and so it's about passion and following through on what I came here to do and give, and of course that's healing through the arts and healing my own self, and then assisting other people through the arts and healing. So from there we go to this next song, which is about forgiveness, and it's called Into the Dream. And this song, it's about, from my experiences, when our family of origin work, it was centered in that. It's like, we all come into these families, and our parents do the best that they can to help us and to nurture us, and we have these experiences with them and then with the culture around us, and we get wounded. We create fears in ourselves. Even the birth process of coming into the planet can create fear in people. And so we have to begin to uncover those wounds that keep us sort of hidden from our true light. And is the process of deep feeling and feeling the pain of those wounds and letting them go and finding forgiveness and the lessons and the gifts that they gave us to make us who we are. And then so the song after that is what I call the center of the sun. And this is the point where we have our first big aha. And I'd like to explain it this way. It's like, we all have these different aspects of our inner thinking. It's like we have a critical mind, and there could be, your child self, your teenage self, your warrior. They're different archetypal things, and they all have voices. And for me, in my experience, I had to separate those voices so that I could hear them clearly and understand how they were either working with each other or working against each other in my head. And when I was able to separate them and hear the different wording, I could get them all on the same team. And when we're all on the same team, we're able to move forward in love. And so we come into the center of the sun that way, where we all, that the whole adage of once a man, twice a child, we find our original innocence again. And from that place that we can bring what I call our quiet power into the world and give the gifts. So I love that song. It's a very moving song. And so the next song, are you with me here?
I am. I'm actually listening to the journey. Although we are going to take a very momentary break here. I have to say that we are on Intention Radio. I want everyone to know that you can find Intention Radio, obviously, on intentionradio.com, and you are here with your host, Carly Alyssa Thorne.com, and you are here with our guest, Shawn Gallaway, and you can find Shawn Gallaway at ShawnGallaway.com. And, I want you guys to realize that this place is great because you can find amazing people that know what intention is all about. And obviously, me and Shawn are talking about intention. We're talking about intention about love. We're talking about intentions about how to hold a space for your journey. Shawn is talking about his journey through the process of the CD he has worked on. So know how powerful intention is. Know how powerful holding the space for the intention of, as he is talking about, he had to sit in front of a mirror and say to himself, I love myself. I am love. So realize how important intention is. And welcome back, Shawn. Thank you so much for being here with me.
Thank you, Carly. And what do you say we continue on the path here, the second half of the journey?
Absolutely. Let's hear about the second path of that journey of the CD. And I just absolutely love this CD. I'm just completely mesmerized. And I'm sure the audience is loving hearing this journey. And actually, know why I'm having you do this is because I don't even think a lot of people realize that people that are powerful songwriters, especially like you, I don't think they realize what goes into the writing of a CD. The actual insight of when people are actually writing a CD, it's not just, well, for some people, not everybody writes like you. It's like, you've gone on this journey, you write these songs. It's not sometimes just like some simple 1, 2, 3. You've taken a CD like I Choose Love, and you've written a journey, and that's what I love about you. And yeah, I don't know, anyone who doesn't know Shawn, he doesn't just do like 1, 2, 3. Any song that Shawn writes is a journey. It's literally something, if you give Shawn anything, any cause, any purpose, anything you want from Shawn, give him an idea, a project, and he'll give you a journey. So if you want something written from Shawn, contact him. He will give you a journey. So continue.
So the next song is called We Dance. And what this is all about is the importance of doing this work in community, authentic community, where people can support you in your process of healing, but then not only you're supported, but then you actually get to support other people in the process. Because my feeling as we come into more unity consciousness, there are days and times I'm up and I can hold for someone else to go through their fear and their healing, where there are times when I'm really low and someone else can hold for me. So creating conscious community and being in communities where you can be authentic and real no matter what you're feeling is really, really important. Now, the other thing about community that's very great, being real and authentic in this healing process, you create incredibly great friendships and bonds, and there's great joy and fellowship that happens during this process. So we're at the point of the stage, the point of the journey where it's like, without the joy, it's almost not worth the ride. And so we begin to understand we're cultivating joy. So the next song, I'm trying to remember what it is right here, just looking at, okay, We Dance. It's called In the Balance. So in the balance, it's about bringing balance into our lives, bringing balance into our, our physical lives, our spiritual lives, our working lives, and not understanding how to cultivate self-love in a way that you're not overextending yourself in a whole bunches and different of areas that create more drama, and it's just so important to live in balance, and physically, spiritually, mentally, heartfully. What else do we have here? So anyway, that's I'm running a little bit short on words on that one right at the moment, probably because I need more balance in my life right now, Well, that's the other thing about this record.
Balance-wise, it's like you said, it's mentally, physically, spiritually, and it's not just, we need to balance what we do physically, and physically means nutritionally. Are we moving our bodies enough? What are we feeding our temples? What are we doing in community? What are we doing in relationship? What are we doing to feed our minds? What books are we reading? It's all these things.
Yeah, and I forgot one of the paintings along the way here that was very important. It comes in after Into the Dream. So we go through that forgiveness piece, and then it's a drawing called The Storm. And for me personally, there were 3 pathways to the center of the sun that I had to go down to heal. One was grief. One was anger, and the other was depression. and the different experiences that I had to move through to get to that place of forgiveness and to sit in the light. You know, I was raised in Catholicism, and although there are many attributes of Catholicism that are great, there were several that were very deeply wounding to me, and really challenged me in my way of being in the world. As far as grief, one of the big things that we lack in our world that I was really felt at great levels was the lack of male mentoring, what authentic rites of passage. No one told me how to live to be a real man and what that felt like, and that real men can actually have their feelings and cry and be able to, you know, have a really strong inner life that's full of that emotion, you know. And then depression, certainly, that's been my biggest guru in my life, you know, and I explain it a couple of different ways, but the one I like the best is sometimes change is happening it's such rapid pace that my mind just gives out, and I have to just stop, and it's a way to just stop. And I think, you know, a lot of us on the spiritual path come to a place of depression at one point or another because we have to face our deepest, darkest shadows, and we have to wrestle with it, and depression can be about that, you know. And when we take power back from our depression and begin to use it as an ally as opposed to something that's beating us up, we begin to empower ourselves and use it as a tool to say, hey, you know what, I'm feeling depressed, I must not be balanced or centered. And that was very important for me on my journey. So moving forward, shifting forward, we go to In the Balance, we have a song called Djembeho, and
I play that one.
Yeah, I play the African drum, and basically what this says is that, you know, when you come through one of these storms, once we're through it and we get the gift of it, there's a greater sense of well-being and joy. And so this song is about gratitude, the power of gratitude in those places that are hard. And I love to tell this story where it's like, I remember I was so depressed one time, and I couldn't, you know, and I was driving and I was pulled over in a parking lot, and I just looked at my car and I said, there's got to be something I can be grateful for. And I looked down at my key ring and I said, I'm just grateful for the person that invented key rings. And I realized that little spark just made me begin to shift. It was like, oh, okay, I can find gratitude even in the darkest of the dark. And so that song is about play the drum, I want to dance. I want to be grateful for my journey, my spirit, my friends, and give that to the world. So there's that one. So the next song is called The Great Yield. And what this song is about is coming into what I would call the inner wealth. And it can be material wealth as well, but it's the vast inner wealth that comes with opening one's heart to this inner journey. It's like me cultivating gifts in my intuition and my ability to do healing and energy work, and exploring my depth as an empath and allowing it to grow. And then my gifts as an artist, a visual artist and a musical artist, excelled when I was able to do this depth of healing and write about it and create from it. I had access to what I would call the river, where I reach into the river and I grab one out and I pull it down for humanity, you know, and it's a pretty cool experience. So the Great Yield is about coming into your wealth, owning your wealth, and being willing to give it away and share it. And then the next song after that is called The Dream Lives On. And what this song is about is knowing our worth, knowing my worth, and that it's an innate, fundamental birthright, that we are born worthy of God's love, or of love from any source. That's who we are. And we don't have to earn it, we just have to be it. And this song is about remembering that and allowing that sort of fountain to begin to bubble up again, so that we can give ourselves the experiences that love wants for us and we want for love. And then, which leads us to the last song, which is the source, which is coming into conscious communion with our source within. And that's the big aha. It's what a lot of the spiritual masters talk about, but, you know, when they say, you know, they've reached nirvana. And for me, my experience of that was certainly nirvana, but also it's fleeting. It's not something. It's there, but it has to be cultivated more and more and more, and there's deeper levels to it. So so we go from the calling to the source, and then we go through the whole journey all over again at a deeper level and a deeper level. So these songs are timeless. They can help you on any part of your path at any time, and songs will speak to you. In different songs will speak to you at different times in your life, more. And a lot of people tell me about this record. So that's primarily
it's the same thing like when you read a book. You read a book once, and then the next time you read a book, you get another nuance and another nuance. I think the songs are the same way. A song, you listen to it once, and you get another time you read it, you get to it at another level. And I think your songs are that way. Your songs are like books. Every time you listen to every time you listen to Shawn's songs, it's like your songs and Shawn rhyme, you get another layer deeper into your consciousness. That's at least that's been my experience. I have Shawn's songs on my iPod, and whenever I go for walks, I'm always listening to them over and over and over again. And whenever I'm going through something, there's another layer of peeling away, if you will, that goes into my consciousness when I'm working through things. At least that's my experience. And we're going to take a light break, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to go into the I Choose Love commitments. So as usual, everybody, you're on Intention Radio. And please, I want you guys to also check out the intentioncall.com. They gather every week, and they actually have a group of people that work on intentions. So intentioncall.com, they get together at 3 p.m., and they work on some sort of intentions. It's usually a world intention, a group intention of some kind, and that's just a great group of people. And you are on right now you're on intentionradio.com with carlylissethorne.com, and with my beautiful guest Shawn Gallaway. And as usual, you can reach Shawn Gallaway at ShawnGallaway.com, and you can also reach him at ichooselove.org. So welcome back, Shawn, and I really want to get into the I Choose Love commitments right now. So let's start off with the first one, which is I choose to love myself, which I know you were standing in front of the mirror, as one of your mentors said, to tell yourself, I choose to love myself. And I think that's the most powerful one. It is really hard to stand in front of the mirror and say, I choose to love myself. So how was that for you? How was that first time doing it?
Well, again, the first time I was doing that was, it brought up lots of tears, because I had forgotten who I was. But I've actually changed that commitment to saying I choose love for myself.
Ooh, I like that.
It's a little bit more powerful. And what that means to me, it's like we have these bodies. We have to take care of them. I have to eat well. These are acts of self-love. I have emotional and mental and spiritual well-being. I meditate. It's a common practice that I use, and I still my mind, and I hear myself. These are things that I do to nurture me. I speak the truth. I take purposeful action in my life, remembering that I indeed am love. I journey within to discover why I'm here. And these are all acts of self-love. Yes, this is, they say that the greatest love of all is self-love, and I think it's probably been my greatest challenge from where I have come from to where I am right now. And it's I being the I Choose Love guy, it's been like, what should I say? It's I'm taking my own medicine constantly, and it's really sometimes challenging in the face of the fear that I go through and the inner critic and the self-judgment at times to love myself, and to realize that I am human. I do make mistakes, but yet I can learn great lessons from them and continue to be loving in the world, So I choose love for myself. I want and desire a life built with love now, and that's what I'm choosing to create.
Well, I don't think you should be so hard on yourself. I think that I choose to love myself or for myself. I would trust me. You are not alone in that. I would have to say that about 75% of the population would have a really tough time with that statement. I choose to love myself, or I choose love for myself. So I seriously don't think you're alone with that one. I think
Oh,
when I stand in front of the
think,
mirror, I have a hard time with that one. So, and I'm always telling
absolutely.
everybody, love, love, love. You know what I mean? So, no,
Absolutely.
you know,
That's why I say it's the hardest one. It's the
it
hardest
is
one.
absolutely the hardest one. And so the second one I have on this list is I choose to create loving relationships.
Or I choose love for my relationships.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like that as well.
Here's one from, this is what I like to say on this one. It's like, it starts with, I always tell people, make peace with your parents. Have you made peace with your parents? And when you make peace with your parents and your siblings and, you know, those who you perceive have wounded you, you actually open up those doorways of forgiveness. So there are ways of being in relationships. You tell the truth. You tell people, you know, if their behavior hurts you, you let them know. You let them know if their behavior is loving for you. You know, you communicate that. And one of the other things is, you know, people tend to run from conflict. You know, can we create conflict resolution models in understanding that cultivates loving relationships? It's hard to talk about our true feelings when people wound us, but it's also, once we move through it, there's great, incredible wisdom that comes from that. So creating love for my relationships is a very, very important process.
I have to add one thing to that, though.
Sure.
Also be willing to know when to let go. Because I've had experiences where I can communicate till blue in the face how basically I want to add an ending to a resolution, how I've already stated my feelings and I no longer harbor any ill feelings. I have made my peace. I no longer hold any ill feelings, and the other person does not want to meet you halfway at all. They still hold, you know, the feelings. They do not want to let go. And if you're not willing to let go of them, not willing to let go, you're going to go stir crazy. And so if someone's not willing to let go and you've already made your peace, move on, because otherwise you're going to go crazy. If someone's not willing to meet you halfway and you've already stated your piece and you're saying, you know, I understand this happened eons ago. I understand I don't hold any more bad feelings. This happened eons ago. I'm willing to bury the you know, whatever happens, and I'm choosing to move forward. I'm here if you ever need me. And they're still not willing to do anything about it. You have to be willing to just move on, because too many people, you know, hold, and they, you know, it's like, and especially where I'm going with this, if it's a parent, mother, father, aunt, uncle, brother, and they're still not willing to, you know, deal with it, you have to move forward with your life. Otherwise, it's just not good.
Well, you can make peace with your parents without having them be there.
Oh, I've done that. I've already done cutting cords,
really
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the things I like to talk about in this one is the word honor.
Yes.
And the way I like to say honor is loving me without hurting others or my partner, and loving others without hurting me, and that includes the earth.
Exactly.
How do we live in honor with each other? And that cultivates, you know, loving relationships.
And the only reason why I brought that one up is you and I believe in cutting cords and Archangel Michael and all that. Some people don't understand that and don't, you know, like you and I, in other words, there are some people that don't believe in the things that you and I believe in. So I can visualize Archangel Michael. I can visualize the swords, cutting the cords, and doing all that stuff. So the reason why I brought that piece up is for those people that don't believe in that and don't understand the ancestry, you know, the going back through ancestry. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Right. So that's why I brought that part up. If you don't believe in what we're talking about in terms of going back through generations and cutting cords and Archangel Michael and, you know, all that stuff, just be willing to let go if they're not willing to meet you halfway. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and, you know, we outgrow relationships.
Exactly.
And can we let go peacefully? That's also creating, you know, loving relationships. Can we let go peacefully?
Absolutely.
For ourselves and for them. You know, and ultimately it comes back to self-love. If we're holding on to something that is no longer serving us, then it doesn't hurt. It hurts us, and it hurts the other people too.
It does. Because the reality is, if we don't let go, we're actually holding them back from moving on, and that's not self-love to us, and it's not self-love to them, whether they know it or not. We're holding them back by us not letting go too. So energetically, that's another story. The third one on this list I have is I choose to love my community, or I choose love for my community.
Yeah, and what that's just about is the willingness to be open to give and receive support, or to be open to give and receive loving support in the process of forgiveness and healing. It's like, how do we show up for each other? And this is the letting go place. How do I release and let go? Sometimes it takes a community to hold us accountable in our behaviors and to help us understand what we're letting go of and who we're letting go of, so that we can move forward in love. So it's about the idea of living and showing up in community in a very passionate and real way. You know, we're going to bring our true selves to the table and allow that to be seen and heard, and offer that and also receive for that, you know? So that's primarily that one.
So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to be adding the word, I'm going to be doing love my and /for before I post this. Okay, so the next one I have is I choose to love my country, or I choose to love for my country. So we're all talking about our country.
So let's look at this one in a different way here, in the sense that when we cultivate love for ourselves, there comes a point along the journey, in my experience, where in order to keep that self-love alive, we have to give it away. We have to be in service.
Absolutely.
So on a grander scale, we are living in times right now where, in my opinion, our country has lost sight of what really loving is all about in the world. And so, in other words, it's like, so what I'm asking all of us to do is, how do we choose to participate in bringing back integrity into our government, the way we govern, you know? And so what I say, it's the process of being a peaceful warrior, you know, to reach out locally, nationally, internationally even, and use your voice, your gifts, you know, sign the petitions, you know, create if you have a heartful cause for something, you know, that really stirs your soul. Maybe it's the earth, maybe it's animals, maybe it's the indigenous peoples, whatever. Be prepared to give something of yourself to that, because it's important that we all show up right now and let our voices be heard, and allow our countries to live in integrity, so that we can shift the way that we operate as a world community. If everyone loved their country and their country was held in transparency and integrity, we'd have a different outcome. So it's just going from the sort of the microcosm to the macrocosm when we shift this and say, okay, we got to work it on a bigger venue. And if we all do our own part.
So from shifting from the country, now we're shifting to our earth.
Well, it's obvious what we've done to the earth. And to me, it's a no-brainer anymore. It's like, we have to take care of our earth now. And if we don't, we lose it. It's that simple. You know, and you know, when you think in terms of there being a, plastic bottles, the size of the state of Texas in the middle of the Pacific Ocean right now, there's something wrong with that picture. You know, and I think we have to begin to say, the way that we love the earth as a community is mirroring back the way that our humanity is loving itself right now. And we have another choice to make. So loving the earth, how do you choose to care and teach our children how to care for not only their physical bodies, but the physical body of the earth, and to understand that we are connected, and without the earth, we die.
Absolutely. And then now if we shift from the earth to the universe.
And this is probably one of my biggest pet peeves, this one, and the one that's probably nearest and dearest to my heart. And what this means for me, and primarily, is it's about expanding the heart and mind, open to the vision of how we can use our gifts to serve the whole. Now, what comes with this, the part that's most passionate for me, is that we have to understand, let me put it this way. I choose to realize and to know that there is a benevolent being in the universe that actually loves, cherishes, and adores me. And I think that if we teach our children that God is a loving God, and that is always there for them, it's going to give them an opportunity to really anchor in love. I grew up in a world where, God was a judgmental creep that lived in the clouds that was going to, get me all screwed up if I messed up, So, that perpetration of fear did all kinds of damage for me and for many other people.
Absolutely. I agree with you. I just did a whole show on religion versus spirituality, and I don't even get me started. It has caused so much damage to so many people.
It has, and it's like, the good news is we don't have to do that anymore, and we don't have to teach our children that, And so that's part of loving the universe. It's like, I choose to, to stand in unity consciousness, to be considerate of the whole, which means not only the earth and all humanity, but, the universe too. How's this going to affect our star people, our star brothers and sisters who, who knows if, we haven't quite met them yet, but everybody, lots of people on this path believe they're there now, and it's like, wouldn't it be cool to enter into the, the galactic family and love them, and be invited back into that because we're choosing love,
I don't think I ever told you this story. I grew up in Catholic private schools, and when I was like in fourth or sixth grade, I changed the I literally told the nun one day, I refuse to say the Our Father prayer, Our Father who art in heaven and hell. So I changed the Our Father prayer to, this is when I was literally that little, to Our Father who is everywhere. That's what I said. So when I would go to church, I would literally, silently say that I refuse to say this. I refused to say the prayer out loud because I didn't want anyone to hear me say the prayer wrong. So I would say silently say the prayer, Our Father who is everywhere, because I refused to say the prayer, Our Father who art in heaven, Our Father who whatever, in heaven and hell. I refused to say that. So I would say Our Father was everywhere, and that was my prayer.
And interesting, as a child, you knew that.
I refused. I refused. Yeah. I was like, what is this hell? I was like, what is this hell about the hell? I was so mad, and because I grew up in private Catholic schools, and we were mandated, you're in private Catholic school, you used to have to go to church all the time, and I did not like that prayer. What do you mean, who art in heaven and hell? What is this about the hell? I was like, I wouldn't do it. So I just did a whole show on the Consciousness channel about religion versus spirituality with this other woman, and I'm like. And we had this whole discussion about how it damaged so many people. Like you said, you're teaching your children to be, scared of God. Like what are we doing to our children? Like you're going to repeat, you must go to confession. You must do this. There's like all this insanity where they're afraid of their bodies. They're afraid of this. They're afraid of that. There's just, and they're ashamed, and everything's shame, and oh my God, having children, procreation is just for this, and you can't give people birth control. I mean, don't even get me started. The whole thing is just a mess. I don't even want to go there. But anyways, this time has flown by, and I want to save space at the end of this because what I want to do, because sound quality for the music, I'm going to have my editor, I want to put in some of the soundtracks because I have them, so the sound quality be amazing because I know your voice. And I know the sound quality of the actual tracks, so I want to save some time for the ending so I can put them in. So anyways, I'm so beyond tickled that you are here with me because it's been such a long time. And I just thank you so much for coming on. You guys have no idea what an amazing singer he is, what an amazing artist he is. I'm going to be putting in all sorts of his art paintings in. So you'll actually get to see the quality of his artwork, and I'm going to be putting in some of his soundtracks so you can hear the wonderful sound quality of his music. And you can find him at ShawnGallaway.com or the iChooseLove.org. Shawn, is there any wonderful wisdom you'd like to leave the audience with?
I would just invite everyone to use that whole I Choose Love concept in their waking hours, and just by asking yourself from moment to moment, is this loving for me? Is this loving for me?
That's a good one.
Is this loving for me? I choose love, and is this loving for me? So to cultivate that and to be able to use that song to help you anchor in the love that you are and the love that you deserve and the love that we all would love to see on the planet. So that's what I would say.
Thank you so much for being here with me.
You're welcome.
I miss
My
you
pleasure.
dearly. I love you dearly. Lots of love and hugs. Yeah, I mean, anyway, so you've been on Intention Radio. Thank you so much for being with me. I love you guys. For tonight, I leave you. You can find me every Thursday night from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You're on intentionradio.com. You've been with your host, Carly Alyssa Thorne, and you can find me at carlylyssathorne.com. And you will, as always, know I put together a wonderful web page that has the embedded video so you can actually see Shawn. You also obviously can hear us on intentionradio.com. And for tonight, I leave you, and I look forward to catching everyone next week. So for tonight, good night, and I wish everyone a wonderful week. Good night, everyone.
Well, I'm grateful for this gift to mend my deeper mind and build a new belief that allows my light to shine. And I'm grateful I can change and become a butterfly, embrace my open wings and surrender to the sky. Infinite love and gratitude in this moment is my attitude, giving thanks for all I'm coming through, freeing my faith and fortitude. Infinite love and gratitude move me with great magnitude. Here present peace is what I choose, infinite love and gratitude. I'm grateful for my growth, the pleasure and the pain, all I've held inside through the sunshine and the rain. Now I'm grateful I can live in balance as I thrive and awaken the one true spirit I see soaring in my eyes. Infinite love and gratitude in this moment is my attitude, giving thanks for all I'm coming through, freeing my faith and fortitude. Infinite love and gratitude move me with great magnitude. Here present peace is what I choose, infinite love and gratitude. Now with the power of my self-love, I'm creating a world of art, reconnecting me with all I see from the lifeline of my heart. Infinite love and gratitude in this moment is my attitude, giving thanks for all I'm coming through, freeing my faith and fortitude. Infinite love and gratitude move me with great magnitude. Here present peace is what I choose, infinite love and gratitude. Now may all our days be filled with infinite love and gratitude. Infinite love and gratitude, everybody.